Hello everybody, it's Justin! So glad to see you guys again. I am so excited to talk about this topic because it is one that is very near and dear to my heart. And that is, how do I not isolate? Now this topic is very, very raw for me. I just came out of this whole struggle. And I can tell you this, isolating has cost me more in my spiritual, personal, and professional development than anything else that I have talked about so far. Many of you may be thinking, hey, what's the big deal? I can handle it all by myself. But the problem is that Scripture teaches us that it is not good for man to be alone. You cannot be alone and expect to get the revelation or anything else from God because He's putting that revelation in people as well, because He's working in their lives as well. And He will absolutely not contradict His word. So what do we do? Well, there's a few things you can do just to meet people. Use some of the social media tools at your disposal. For example, you can actually go out to events. They're posted on Facebook all the time. Go and fellowship with your congregation. You may not necessarily think that you need Bible study in your life or some of these other events, but it is a way for you to get out of the house and socialize with people and to build those skills. Invite people over to just have a good time, or maybe some sort of event that you want to host. There's all kinds of options out there for you, but the main thing is to understand just how important it is to not isolate. It's so important that Jesus leaves the 99 sheep behind to find the one that has been isolated. It's that important to Him. So, we must always strive to never isolate. It doesn't mean you have to be around people 24/7, but it does mean that at least once a week, that you should get together and view things in a different light and view things through the revelation that God's giving to other people. It can be very helpful and even save you years because someone is already where you're trying to be. Now I know that some of you guys may be saying that being around people is what caused me pain in the first place. Therefore, I don't need these people. So you might actually be right about that. Those particular people. So it's up to you to go out and find new relationships with people who are going to affirm you and to set you on the path where you're wanting to be. It's even more important to make sure that you're around more people that are on the path or have already gotten to the goal in which God is pointing you towards in the first place. Another important thing is to make sure that you are giving to somebody else. That will get you outside of yourself and into the lives of someone that may need some help. It doesn't mean you have to be a big help, but just has to mean that you're out there helping somebody else. You can also isolate within a group. And what I'm about to say is going to be very important. People are not here to prove that you are successful or that you are smart or anything like that. People are here to help you grow into the person that God has created you to be. So there's no reason to be so nervous and shut down when you're around people and isolate yourself within a group. Never a reason for that. If you do not allow yourself to be vulnerable, then you have not allowed yourself to grow. And therefore, you have halted the plan of God in your life. Being vulnerable will push you away from isolation. Accept the fact that you need to grow and you'll be fine. I promise. You can also have accountability partners. These are people who are going to hold you to a certain standard of communication so that you follow through. But honestly guys, with all these suggestions that I have, the main thing that's going to get you to not isolate is what you believe. You have to believe that isolating is not a good thing, and it is completely and totally against what God has for us. Think about this. A way to actually drive someone completely mad is to isolate them. In prison, they call that putting someone in the hole. And that's all that it takes. Just being alone for very long periods of time. And if you're still not convinced, remember this, that when communication ceases from an organism, they call that death. And when we go into isolation, that definitely means we're not communicating. So why do you think you're going to benefit from isolating? Something to definitely chew on and think about. Alright guys, that's my time. Loves and hugs. And remember, get out of the drama and into the art.